What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Ark Insight, and today we are taking a look at the Reaper King versus the Rex. And boy oh boy, I've taken a quick look at their stats already, and I can tell you this is going to be a very one-sided competition. But before we get into that, make sure you guys head over onto my Discord just to check it out, get involved with some of the other people on the server, and if you haven't already, don't forget to check out my server. We are currently revamping it, so it's going to be all PvP, and the rates are going to be changed drastically. So head over onto Discord just to get a look-see and take a look at everything that's going on there. And if you like it, feel free to join in on the server. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. So the Reaper King, straight off the bat, is a beast of a dude. 6,500 health, 480 stamina, 415 weight, and 175 melee damage at level 1. He has 6,500 health at level 1. That is absolutely ridiculous. And now we'll head over to the Rex and check out the Rex's stats. At level 1, the Rex only has 1,100 health, 420 stamina, wink wink, nudge nudge, 500 weight, and 175 melee damage. So in terms of base stats, the Rex and the Reaper King are not far off when it comes to stamina, weight, and the percentage of melee damage. However, the health of these two is drastically different, and that is going to play a huge part in the final battle between these two. You can easily tell that the Reaper King will absolutely beat the Rex. Okay, so we took a look at their speed, and pretty much from this skull to just over there, you can see the little overpass bit. That's where we ran to. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Reaper King was faster than the Rex by about 3 seconds. There was about 3 seconds difference between the Reaper King and the Rex, and we ran to about here. So that took about 10 seconds for the Reaper King to run here, whereas the Rex actually runs out of stamina about three quarters of the way, and he actually isn't able to run anymore, so he actually walks the rest of the way. You'll see here now, and you can see we're off, and pretty much you see how quick his stamina depletes, and he pretty much gets 3 quarters of the way and then has to walk the rest of the way. That's why he takes the extra 3 seconds. If he had enough stamina, I would say he'd probably be 1 second shy of the Reaper King, in my opinion. I think the Rex would still be just a little bit slower than the Reaper King in this instance. Okay, so next up we're going to be covering their abilities. Now, as you all know, the Rex has your basic attack and roar. That's literally all the Rex has going for himself. The Reaper King has a bunch of unique abilities, one of them being that he can jump. Much like the Karkanos on Aberration, he's able to leap really high, well not really high, but pretty well actually, if you'd ask me. You can see there we managed to cover quite a bit of distance over that. Now, not only that, he also has the ability to shoot poison balls of death out of his tail butt area thing that they used to impregnate you with. And you can see that it actually slows down the target. It also does a little bit of torpor damage to the target as well. His secondary attack is a tail swing that launches anything small enough that's not heavy to take flying lessons, essentially. You can see these poor Ankylos are just going nowhere. So the primary attack of the Reaper King is his bite attack. You can see there as well, you'll see his melee damage. This is dealing 131 damage. So this is his primary attack, which is the one you'll probably use most often. His tail attack is also really good, but that only deals 9 damage, whereas his tail swing does a smaller fraction at 84 damage. So he also has the ability to bury underground. You can see there, you can bury underground. Now you can do this on PC without actually, I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. You can actually do this on PC without, okay then, without having to get off him, but on consoles there's actually not a button for it. I don't know why he's not under the ground at the moment. Maybe because we're not on Aberration. Oh, sure. Yep, okay, cool. So yeah, so now we're going to come on to their turning radius as soon as we get down there. Okay, so the turning radius of the Reaper King is surprisingly really good, actually. I was really surprised at how well his turning radius was. You can see here we're sprinting, and we're actually not taking too big of turns. You can pretty much maneuver this guy really well if you've got the patience and time and skill to do so. He doesn't really require all that much turning time. So he's actually really good in that regard, as well as everything else that he's got going for himself. Now, as for the Rex, the turning radius, as you know, is colossal. Turning radiuses on the Rexes are huge. They're just huge bulwark of beasts, and they take a very long time to turn. Hopefully in the TLC patch that's coming out, they'll revamp this and actually fix the Rexes so they don't turn as wide, and I'm really hoping they fix that. As for the Rex's melee damage, his base damage that he deals at level 1 is 75. However, his primary attack is actually a little bit faster than the Reaper King's, so he has that going for himself as well. But aside from that, the Rex really doesn't have much going for himself in terms of the Reaper King. Sorry, I stand mistaken. His base damage is actually 108. These direwolves were actually mate boosted, and they had the alpha boost or whatever it was, so the base damage of the Rex's primary attack is 108. So that's only 22, 23 points off the Reaper King's attack. That, sided with the Rex having the ability to attack faster, makes him slightly better in terms of attack speed. Now, in terms of swim speed, the Reaper King is actually a relatively decent swimmer. You can see here, he's not the fastest, obviously, due to him being a land mount. That's inevitable. But he's actually pretty quick in the water. Like, he's got solid movement speed in the water, like walking speed almost. So, you don't be too afraid to take the Reaper King into water. However, on Aberration, there really isn't that many deep sources of water that you really need to worry about with him. You're probably only looking at Fertile Lake, and that's pretty much it, where the water is deep enough for the Reaper King to submerge himself in. Now, as we all know, the Rex is an absolute sloth when it comes to the water. He is very slow, and I definitely would not recommend taking the Rex into water. You can see there, actually, yeah, he is slower than the Reaper King, but he's still horrible at swimming in the water. So don't take your Rexes into the water, please. Whatever you do, don't make them suffer that pain and that agony and that embarrassment from being so slow. All the other dinos are going to point and laugh at them. One added benefit that the Rex has over the Reaper King is that he has the ability to wear saddles. So essentially he's able to get extra armor while the Reaper King suffers not having a saddle, so he will kind of take extra damage. However, you then have to think that the Reaper King does have 6,500 base health, and you're kind of like, well, does he really need that saddle? Okay, next up, we're going to be testing which one gathers the most meat. So you can see here we've got two dead stegos side by side, lovers in bed, and unfortunately they died together as well. So the Rex currently has an empty inventory. You can see there he's got 6 levels on him. We're not going to pump anything up at the moment. So we're going to take a little bit of a nibble here. So you can see there 70 raw meat, 3 prime, 2 keratin, and 44 hide. Now we're losing a bit of the raw meat there because he's a bit hungry. That's to be expected. But you did just see that he managed to get about 70 raw meat, 3 prime, 2 keratin, and I think it was 44 hide. Now we're going to see how much the Reaper King gathers here with his primary attack. Now you can see there's 67 raw meat, 55 hide, and 5 raw prime meat. So it looks like that the Reaper King is actually better at gathering prime meat and hide than the Rex is. He got less 20, 40, 57, 67 raw meat, whereas the Rex got 3 extra raw meat. Honestly, the Reaper King is probably better at gathering the meat because of the extra primes that he got over the Rex. So you can see there that the Reaper King is also the better meat gatherer. Okay, so next up we've got a battle to the death. Now the Rex is on our side counting as a tame, whereas the Reaper King is unclaimed. The Rex doesn't have his saddle on. We are letting the Rex get the first attack because, to be honest with you, we all know who is going to win this battle. The Reaper King will absolutely demolish the Rex because of the extra health, but you can see here they're underway. And the Rex is only doing 21 damage to the Reaper King. So, well, there's no chance for the Rex to survive this encounter, like, whatsoever. Now, I'm not sure why the Rex is only doing 21 damage to the Reaper King. I would assume it has something to do with it being technically wild now. But you can see the poor dude's just being absolutely wrecked, and he just got killed there. You can see there. So if you guys know why the Reaper King wasn't actually taking the proper amount of damage, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. But he's obviously going to go on a mad rampage now and just kill everything. But you can actually see here, we're unable to claim him back as well, which is a little bit strange. So yeah, well, we all knew the Reaper King was going to beat the Rex anyway because of that extra health and the bit of extra melee damage. But yeah, guys, that'll be it for today. Let me know if you enjoyed this one. Make sure if you've got any ideas for future ones to leave them down below in the comments. But other than that, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.